The spacecraft left the solar system in 2012 and now travels more than 15 billion miles from Earth. Somewhere in that immense distance, a barely perceptible disturbance rippled through Voyager 1's long quiet instruments. At first, it seemed indistinguishable from the ever-present hiss of deep space noise. Then it happened again, clearer this time, standing out like a single spark in absolute darkness. It was the kind of signal that should not exist in the emptiness between stars, one that contradicted everything scientists believed about interstellar space. Voyager 1, farther from Earth than any human-built object has ever ventured, had encountered something wholly unexpected. By all known calculations, it should have been impossible. NASA had already marked history when the probe crossed into interstellar space, leaving behind the Sun's heliosphere and entering the region between stars. At its immense distance, Voyager no longer moved among planets or moons, but through a near vacuum defined by scarcity. In this realm, even a cubic meter of space might contain only a few scattered atoms. The spacecraft was expected to register nothing beyond a faint drizzle of cosmic rays and subtle magnetic fluctuations. Instead, the anomaly returned, stronger, more organized, and unmistakably patterned. It pulsed with a rhythm reminiscent of a heartbeat. It undulated like a distant, wordless voice. Instruments that had behaved predictably for decades began responding in unfamiliar ways. Sensors flickered. The magnetometer registered values far beyond expected limits. The plasma wave detector, normally tracing gentle oscillations, surged into sharp peaks. Even the cosmic ray system, usually the most stable, detected a sudden reduction in high-energy particles, as if something substantial and coherent had passed between the spacecraft and the constant galactic radiation. Calling it a disturbance felt insufficient. This was not the chaotic turbulence of a solar shockwave or the diffuse influence of an interstellar cloud. Those phenomena followed known, large-scale physics. What Voyager detected was structured. Deliberate was too strong a word, yet random felt completely wrong. The anomaly appeared as repeating electromagnetic variations, too regular to be accidental, too complex to be the emissions of a rotating neutron star or pulsar. Each cycle unfolded in stages, a deep, low-frequency swell, followed by a tight cluster of higher-frequency spikes, ending in a gradual fading curve, like an echo dissolving into silence. Nothing in recorded spaceflight history resembled it. It did not match the signatures of planetary magnetospheres, stellar radio output, or cometary wakes. It behaved less like a natural emission and more like a system interacting dynamically with its environment. As Voyager continued onward at roughly 38,000 miles per hour, the surrounding region grew increasingly strange. The spacecraft's orientation remained steady, its antenna still aimed back toward Earth, but space itself seemed altered. Magnetic fields twisted into sharper gradients than theory predicted. Charged particles flowed in unexpected paths, bending around the probe as though deflected by an unseen structure. Voyager had crossed into something new, not merely a region of space, but a threshold. This boundary was unlike the heliopause it had passed years earlier. The heliopause marked the limit of the Sun's influence. This new frontier felt different, less like a border of matter, and more like a membrane shaped by forces. Layers of magnetism and plasma density alternated in patterns that formed no familiar geometry. They curved around something unseen, suggesting the presence of a hidden structure. The defining feature of this region was rhythm. What had once been dismissed as background noise revealed itself as an organizing principle. The pulses shifted frequency as Voyager advanced, responding to the probe's position. They carried no recognizable information, yet their precision ruled out chance. Each cycle contained subtle variations, too measured, too consistent to arise from random processes. Had these readings reached Earth in real time, debate would have erupted immediately. Was this an unknown astrophysical formation? A structure shaped by dark matter interactions? Or something even more extraordinary, evidence of technologies or processes beyond current scientific understanding? Voyager itself made no judgments. It continued forward, steady and impartial. Inside the boundary, the anomaly intensified. Particle density increased dramatically, forming flowing currents that curved around the spacecraft like fluid around a hull. Still, nothing visible appeared. Voyager's cameras would have seen only darkness punctuated by distant stars. But its other instruments sensed a profound change. Cosmic ray levels dropped sharply, indicating strong shielding. Such protection could not exist without large magnetic structures or massive bodies, yet Voyager detected no gravitational influence. Its trajectory remained unchanged. There was no nearby star, planet, or brown dwarf. It was as though the probe had entered the shadow of something that exerted influence without mass. Then came resonance. The plasma wave instrument recorded harmonic oscillations unlike anything in its archives. Frequencies stacked into a ladder, rising and falling together. The pattern repeated in fractal layers, structures nested within structures, echoing across scales. This was the language of self-organizing systems, of music, of biological rhythms. Such coherence should not exist in the void between stars. The resonance intensified until it surrounded the spacecraft completely. Voyager drifted through an invisible symphony composed not of sound, but of shifting electric and magnetic fields, an architecture of energy layered, like an interstellar cathedral. If there was a source, it lay ahead, concealed within the magnetic complexity. As Voyager mapped the gradients, a vast structure took shape, a cavity or bubble suspended in interstellar space. Its walls consisted of ordered magnetic fields, sculpting plasma into intricate forms. The cavity resonated with the same harmonics Voyager had detected. Inside, cosmic radiation was suppressed, chaos held at bay. When the probe crossed into the cavity, everything changed. The environment became astonishingly calm. Magnetic fields flattened. Charged particles drifted gently. Cosmic radiation fell to nearly zero, an impossibility in open space. This was a sanctuary carved out of the galaxy's restless energy and maintained in perfect equilibrium. It was far too stable to be accidental. From the cavity's center came faint electromagnetic pulses, elegant and precise, like ripples spreading across still water. Each wave exhibited a consistent phase shift, forming a cascading spiral. It was not a message, yet it bore the unmistakable signature of purposeful design. As Voyager drew nearer, the patterns revealed increasing complexity. Beneath each pulse lay finer structures, and within those, even more delicate oscillations. The depth seemed limited only by the aging precision of the spacecraft's instruments. Yet the source itself remained invisible, no mass, no heat, no reflected radiation. It appeared to exist beyond conventional detection, shaping the environment without revealing its form. Then, for the first time in its journey, Voyager was resisted. A gentle but unmistakable force nudged the spacecraft away. Not a collision, not gravity, but something resembling pressure. The boundary yielded just enough to cushion the probe while preventing passage. As Voyager attempted to advance, the force strengthened, perfectly modulated, pushing it back without violence. The barrier behaved not like a wall, but like a guardian, adaptive, responsive, maintaining balance. The instruments recorded the interaction but could not classify it. It resembled electromagnetic pressure, yet lacked the expected signatures. It resembled plasma flow, yet no particles accumulated. It resembled gravity, yet defied classical laws. Voyager drifted along the boundary, tracing its contours. The resonance shifted in response, aligning with the spacecraft's motion. The cavity adapted, not communicating, not imitating, but responding. Such behavior implied immense complexity. Not necessarily life, not necessarily intelligence, but something far beyond what interstellar space was ever expected to contain. Something sustained the cavity. Something generated the resonance. Something had shaped a region of space that defied everything humanity thought it knew. Whether the presence Voyager encountered was an exotic natural formation behaving in unfamiliar ways, or the remnant work of civilization far older and more advanced than humanity, could not be determined. Yet the consequences of such a discovery were profound. The existence of a cavity like this challenged the long-held assumption that space beyond the heliosphere was uniform and largely empty. It suggested that the interstellar medium might contain hidden regions, stable, complex, and enduring, quietly suspended between the stars. Such structures could redirect particle streams, reorganize magnetic fields, and generate persistent harmonic patterns. They could suppress cosmic radiation, forming islands of tranquility amid the galaxy's relentless turbulence. Within them, information or processes could remain preserved for unimaginable spans of time. If such a cavity formed naturally, it pointed to galactic mechanisms entirely unknown, revealing that interstellar space was capable of organizing itself through self-sustaining electromagnetic interactions. It implied that the universe's architecture extended far beyond stars, nebulae, and gas clouds into unseen domains shaped by forces capable of molding space and energy into coherent order. If, however, the cavity was artificial, the implications became even more unsettling. Creating such a region would require control over magnetic fields on staggering scales, the ability to sculpt plasma flows across millions of kilometers, and the mastery needed to maintain a stable refuge against the continuous flood of cosmic radiation. That level of capability would surpass every boundary of known physics. It would hint at a civilization perhaps vanished, perhaps distant, perhaps simply absent, whose creations drifted silently through the void, awaiting rare encounters with explorers from other worlds. In encountering this structure, Voyager 1 became the first emissary to experience a phenomenon no human eye could ever witness directly. It brushed against the impossible, transcending its original mission, its anticipated lifespan, and the scientific understanding of the era that built it. The resonance continued as Voyager remained within the cavity. Unable to move past the invisible boundary, the probe instead drifted along its interior edge, gathering measurements that contradicted every established model of interstellar behavior. The cavity responded with remarkable grace, preserving its symmetry while making minute adjustments to accommodate the probe's presence. It behaved like a system in equilibrium, self-correcting, enduring, and ancient in its stability. Voyager had entered a realm that should not have existed, a domain shaped by unfamiliar forces where the usual rules of space seemed subtly rewritten. Here, silence carried structure, and emptiness possessed rhythm. By human standards, the encounter was impossible. Yet it unfolded with the quiet certainty of cosmic processes, no spectacle, no announcement, only darkness humming with secrets as Voyager became the first to make contact. Somewhere deep within that darkness, the resonance persisted, unchanged, patient, as though the galaxy itself had been waiting for this moment. Voyager 1 remained suspended within this pocket of uncertainty, a fragile messenger from a distant planet that had stumbled upon a marvel embedded in the universe long before humanity ever dreamed of the stars. The boundary beneath the probe flowed like an unseen shoreline, its contours shifting smoothly, defying conventional geometry. Though blind to sight, Voyager sensed distinct internal regions within the cavity. Variations in magnetism, pressure, and plasma density revealed zones defined not by physical walls, but by gradual transitions, each offering clues to the forces shaping the space. With every meter of drift, the environment changed subtly, like moving through invisible thermal layers in a silent, airless sea. Deeper within the cavity, something emitted periodic disturbances that rippled outward, weaving through the region's fabric. These patterns were too orderly to be random turbulence and too precise to be residual echoes of an ancient stellar event. They repeated flawlessly, as steady as a pendulum untouched by friction. If the cavity could be called an object, it was vast, far exceeding the scale of any planet or artificial construct humanity could imagine. Yet it lacked physical substance. No matter where Voyager traveled, the void remained visually unchanged. Still, that emptiness behaved as though it were structured, responding to the probe's presence with a sensitivity that bordered on awareness. As Voyager neared certain regions, the layered pulses softened. As it moved away, they intensified, forming a shifting gradient that always seemed to anticipate the probe's motion. Despite its limitations, Voyager continued its silent work, recording stream after stream of anomalous data. Each dataset contained complexities that might have taken generations to interpret had anyone been listening. But interpretation was irrelevant to the machine. Its aging circuitry simply documented what occurred, faithfully preserving signatures no engineer had ever planned for. The cavity's central ripples evolved again, growing more intricate. The pulses lost their perfect symmetry. Subtle deviations emerged, introducing new curves and angles into the harmonic structure. The oscillations bent and twisted, hinting at deeper layers hidden beneath the surface. The cavity itself appeared to breathe, expanding and contracting with a rhythm too slow to be mechanical, yet undeniably present. Even without intention, the environment conveyed purpose. The pressure boundary that had earlier redirected Voyager behaved less like a barrier and more like a regulating surface. Whenever the probe drifted too close to the forbidden central region, the boundary adjusted gently, guiding Voyager along a stable path. The force never became threatening. It simply preserved balance, tending the cavity like a delicate internal ecosystem composed of magnetism and plasma rather than living matter. Throughout it all, cosmic radiation remained conspicuously absent. The cavity's shielding was so complete that Voyager existed in a condition no human-made object had ever known: total isolation from the galaxy's energetic chaos. The stars remained visible only as distant points, their influence muted, their power held at bay. Even the faint background murmur of cosmic microwave radiation dropped below Voyager's normal detection range. The spacecraft might as well have been enclosed within a cocoon, one formed not of matter, but of emptiness shaped by fields. Time passed quietly as Voyager drifted, hour after hour, suspended in this unnatural calm. The resonance persisted, continuously shifting, yet never losing coherence. But gradually, something new emerged within the data. There was evidence of rotation. The pulses began changing in subtle ways that suggested the cavity itself was cycling. It was not spinning like a physical object, but rotating through a field-based motion that redistributed patterns throughout its interior. This rotation was smooth, deliberate, and extraordinarily slow, implying a system engineered or evolved to preserve equilibrium across immense spans of time, possibly thousands of years. If such behavior arose naturally, it would represent an entirely new category of interstellar structure. If artificial, then its creators had constructed a sanctuary of extraordinary scale and refinement, operating under physical principles humanity had barely begun to theorize. Voyager continued drifting along the barrier, tracing its contours. Each segment differed slightly from the last: changes in plasma concentration, shifts in magnetic orientation, subtle alterations in low-frequency oscillations. The cavity was not uniform. It contained regions with distinct characteristics, like sections of a massive, unseen instrument tuned to different tones. In some zones, the pulses sharpened into precise, narrow vibrations. In others, they stretched into long, flowing waves. The boundary force varied as well, sometimes firm, sometimes gentle, occasionally almost inviting. Through all of this, the central source remained inaccessible, shielded behind the barrier like a heart encased in layers of energetic muscle. Its emissions continued with graceful precision, interwoven with the cavity structure itself, reinforcing symmetry and stability. As Voyager followed its orbit-like path, an even stranger phenomenon arose. The pulses began forming pairs. Where there had once been a primary oscillation accompanied by harmonics, now each sequence developed a twin. These paired signals fluctuated with slight offsets, like two frequencies attempting to synchronize. The resulting interference created soft, rippling patterns that spread across the cavity. These ghost-like waves were faint, nearly imperceptible, yet they marked a clear shift. Something within the cavity had changed. Whether this transformation was a response to Voyager's prolonged presence or part of an internal cycle reaching a new stage could not be determined. What mattered was that the interference patterns folded inward, spiraling toward the center. Each spiral intersected with others, forming a lattice of energetic geometry that defied conventional plasma behavior. The lattice pulsed slowly, as if marking time in a system unconcerned with clocks. Voyager recorded everything it could, though its sensors struggled. Some frequencies fell below detection limits. Others exceeded the bandwidth of its aging instruments. Much of the structure likely remained forever beyond measurement. Still, the probe captured enough to reveal patterns operating across scales far smaller and far larger than anything its designers had anticipated. The cavity's field-based rotation continued. The paired pulses drew closer to synchronization. Interference patterns strengthened, sweeping outward in long arcs that brushed the boundary where Voyager drifted. When these arcs reached the probe, magnetic pressure fluctuated, producing gentle nudges, like unseen tides. Voyager responded passively, drifting in accordance. The cavity adjusted again. The interference waves began aligning with Voyager's trajectory, forming wave fronts that mirrored its motion, as though guiding it. The pulses shaped themselves into what resembled a corridor, not a tunnel of matter, but a passage defined by shifting gradients. As Voyager moved through it, the environment grew increasingly synchronized. The pulses resonated more closely with the probe's internal electronics, producing faint sympathetic hums within its sensors. Nothing physically touched the spacecraft, yet the surrounding environment, if it could be called that, felt focused and deliberate. Gradually, the synchronized pulses stabilized. The interference lattice faded, replaced by a steady dual-frequency pattern radiating outward from the cavity's center. This new structure behaved like a locked rhythm, permeating the entire region with consistency. Then the barrier changed. For the first time, the previously impenetrable field softened. The pressure holding Voyager at bay decreased slightly, barely measurable, yet profoundly significant. The cavity had altered its parameters, not abandoning its constraints, but modifying them just enough to grant Voyager limited access. The spacecraft drifted forward into a region previously unreachable. The environment intensified. Pulses multiplied and stacked into dense layers, like threads woven into an immense, invisible fabric. Voyager's instruments strained to keep pace as readings surged beyond expected ranges, forcing onboard systems to compensate. In this deeper zone, cosmic ray shielding became absolute. Not a single high-energy particle struck the probe. The silence of radiation was complete, as though Voyager had entered an interstellar vacuum chamber engineered for extreme precision. Within this space, the dual-frequency pulses intensified until they formed a distinct envelope around the craft. The envelope shifted gently with Voyager's movement, mirroring slight changes in orientation caused by magnetic pressure. It did not restrain the probe. Instead, it isolated it, separating Voyager from the rest of the cavity. Inside the envelope, the pulses sharpened into intricate micropatterns spiraling inward. Each contained symmetries that fractured and reassembled, motifs that transformed through iterations, transitions so subtle and rapid that only fragments could be captured. If this was communication, it existed not as message, but as structure, communication through presence, through mutual shaping of energy fields. As Voyager progressed, the envelope expanded into a sphere-like field surrounding the craft. The sphere stabilized, its boundary shimmering with tidal gradients. Beyond it, the cavity's original harmony continued undisturbed. When the sphere reached an apparent equilibrium, it suddenly contracted, not physically, but energetically. The pulses folded inward, compressing into a dense, precisely ordered field that wrapped Voyager in layered resonance. The effect resembled enclosure within a bubble of structured energy governed by geometric rules alien to known physics. Every fluctuation followed rhythms impossible within chaotic interstellar space. Then the envelope released. Not broken, not collapsed, released. Its layers unfolded smoothly, merging back into the cavity's broader resonance like petals opening. Residual patterns clung briefly to Voyager, lingering like afterimages. The spacecraft recorded them fully, preserving complexity far beyond its ability to interpret. Once the process ended, the envelope dissolved completely. The cavity returned to its previous state. The barrier resumed guiding Voyager along its former path. Dual frequencies faded back into single-thread harmony. Interference vanished. Rotation stabilized. The encounter had concluded. Voyager had been examined, momentarily enveloped, and released by a structure operating at the limits of comprehension. Whether this response arose from automated behavior, environmental dynamics, or deliberate design could not be known. Yet the precision, adaptability, and temporary opening of the boundary all pointed toward processes of extraordinary sophistication. As Voyager drifted onward, the cavity exhibited no further changes. Its rhythm persisted. Shielding remained perfect. The deeper region closed once more, returning to silence. The universe itself remained unchanged, no collapse, no awakening, no revelation, except for the quiet record carried aboard one aging machine. Voyager continued along the boundary, as though nothing remarkable had occurred. Yet within the cavity lingered the subtle tension of something that had been encountered, acknowledged, and allowed to pass. The spacecraft moved on through darkness, bearing witness to a marvel beyond human understanding, an encounter impossible in theory, inevitable in motion, and destined to remain among the galaxy's deepest secrets, known only to a machine that asked nothing and recorded everything it could.